Let me start with you, Congressman. This is your state. This is North Carolina. It's appalling. The idea that we can't arrest our way out of protecting these people is foolish. Look, I understand the mental health aspect of this, but leaving people on the street that are dangerous, that stab innocent women to death on the train. I'm sorry, sir, something has to change. Your thoughts?
Absolutely, Steve. Thank you for having me on today. And I think I appreciate so much folks making America aware of just the gigantic proportion of tragedy that has occurred here with this young woman. I mean, you're exactly right. Crime is a serious issue all across our country, and it has come to Charlotte, obviously. And what we saw happen there is something that never should have happened. The lengthy rap sheet that this guy brings with him, showing 14 arrests, is appalling. And the fact that even as recent as January was his last incident, the fact that he has not been held, was not incapacitated, continues to really raise an awful lot of questions of why this is happening. And even his own mother has indicated in an interview I saw that she believed he should have never been out in the community.
Yeah. Josh, let me ask you this. This story has been almost completely ignored. No coverage on NBC, CBS, CNN, The Washington Post, and New York Times, Josh. None of these people covering this story now. We know the criminal is black and the victim is white. If this had been reversed, they'd be ramming this down our throats for 24 hours a day, every day. At the top of the show, bottom of the show, they'd have panels. They'd have everything. But because that's not the narrative that the mainstream media wants, this woman is brutally murdered after fleeing a country at war, and they say nothing. How shameful for the media do you make this?
You're absolutely right. And I completely agree with Congressman Harris in that, we had data, we had history to back this up. And I think that's exactly what's going on here is it doesn't fit that narrative that wants to pull us away from the actual facts and the actual truth. The United States Sentencing Commission did a study that showed that over 60% of violent offenders would go on to commit violent felonies again. And furthermore, 4 to 5% of all people arrested while on bond will go out and commit a violent felony. So this is right in line with the numbers that we're seeing. And unfortunately, that doesn't fit the narrative that the left would like us to see. So I think that's where this comes down to is we have to look at those recidivism numbers and just understand that they're so likely to go out and commit felonies again. So why do we keep releasing them, violent offenders back out into the public?
Yeah, it's a failed series of policies. Cashless bail. If you have a mental illness, you're returned back to the streets to commit whatever heinous crime follows here. So, Congressman, what can be done at the legislative level to change this revolving door, to change the fact that criminals are back on the streets sometimes 10, 15 times like this guy? Even his own mother said he shouldn't be on the streets, and yet this young woman, Arena, has paid with her life for that terrible series of policies. What can we do differently?
Well, I think we ought to just start enforcing a lot of the policies that are already in place. I mean, when you've got judges that are not recognizing, the question I've been asking all day is, all right, he's got a mental illness. Nobody's going to deny that. But how this man could have been incarcerated for 5, 8 years and then not pick up on that. And then when he calls in January of this year, and it was something as simple as making false 911 calls, why in the world would a judge not look at that rap sheet, not recognize what was there, and keep this person incarcerated? I mean, look, John Hinckley Jr. shot Ronald Reagan, and he was put away for a long, long time and wasn't allowed to walk the streets. I just think we've got to start being real about in dealing with mental illness. I don't disagree that we need to do a better job in how we're handling mental illness, but we also don't need to be afraid to keep folks with mental illness incarcerated so that they're not able to be out there. And unfortunately, no matter what we do going forward, it's not going to bring back that 23-year-old young woman who was just ravagely taken from us.